to Hades, the reformer of hooker whores, and the bronze god, the one, the only, the legendary Chris Bay.
Good afternoon to the good people. Good afternoon to the bad people, friends and enemies. And good afternoon, boom, shakalaka to you all. I am Chris Base. This is BaseLine. We congregate every Friday, and that starts at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, and then you go into 4 p.m. Central. And then, of course, you go over there to 2 p.m. on the West Coast, where we, of course, want you to be well where you are, always. As we congregate, we do this, and always looking forward to your comments, your questions. You contact me through the phone number, as always, 312-597-2106. Again, 312-597-2106. The Chris Base channel, with a period at the end of the channel. Make sure you subscribe, like, and share. YouTube, make sure you go on that and check me out there as well. Instagram, I am the Base. And again, you can contact me through these various ways or stay in the comment section, affectionately called the Peanut Gallery, and make your comments known there as well. And if you're ever so bold and so daring, you can ask me for the lift. I'm not on the lift, the link. As you now know, the link has been fixed. So I want to thank myself for messing around with it until we found what was wrong. And that's always cool when that happens. So I think, again, when technology has its way of messing with you, I know it's messed with me on more than one occasion. So, in fact, let me check something out here real quick. Just make sure everything's rocking and rolling. Okay. Let's see if I got that. All right, cool. So, all right, so on. All right, great. So, again, wanting you to connect the various ways as told you. And again, to reiterate, if you are going to be so bold and you know who you are, ask for the link. I'll put in the comment section, and then you come on this way. Once again, brush your teeth. Make sure you use some mouthwash, some Vicks Lavoris, Listerine, or something like that. You can get the Listerine now. It doesn't burn your mouth. You get those. You have like 18 versions of Listerine if you want. Or whatever you do, because we can smell it. If you go through the link, make sure you do just that, if you're going to do that. Let's see. That's right, Barbara Jean. It's Friday. How you doing, Barbara Jean? Thank you for being here. And you see Barbara Jean going through Facebook Live to join us on this fabulous Friday. Thank you so much. Only one rule, outside of one that I just told you about with the bad breath. Only one rule that I have. No peep freaks. Hashtag PEEPFREAKS. Make my peep a peep freak. Nope. Peep freaks are people, again, who look forward to the summer. Some look forward to going to to the Chosen Few picnic tomorrow. I won't be going, but yeah, God bless your ministries if you do. And they love house music, but at the same time, they're freaky people. So I love them. I really do, but it can get on your nerves sometimes. And once again, because I am the bronze god of who I am and what I am, they see me in person, and once again, they faint. I can't control it. So once I dust them off, how you doing? You pay your taxes, you're good. And once they take me in through their eyesight, it's like, look, I stick and stay, or be about your merry way. That's it. That's it. Once again, just thank you for being a part of the excursion. And of course, Barbara Jean also on the Facebook page and also on YouTube, the YouTube channel. Okay, so let me do a couple of things here real quick. Okay. So how's your Friday coming along so far? How you feeling? How's everything in your world? see. So we're good to go there. All right. I said before, joking around, but I meant it. Certain people, I don't blame them if they want to go to the house party when it comes down to the chosen few. Hey, Doc Sanders, Doc Baseline, that strikes the key. Thank you so much for the little tidbits. I appreciate it. More do you know? How you doing, Doc Sanders? Dr. Katrina Sanders, that is. How you doing? Thank you for being here. How's everything in your world and everybody else's world? I was saying before the chosen few picnic, which is tomorrow. I never went. Me and crowds don't really get along swimmingly, so I don't really go out. But I do appreciate people who do get out because it's their life, and I don't know. Even when I was more mobile, I didn't like crowds then. So I'm not really a crowd person, me personally. You're great, cool. Thank you, Dr. Sanders, for being here. Thank you so much. Um. So yeah, I don't. I remember when the chosen few was free. This is way back in the day when they used to be behind the Museum of Science and Industry. I remember my wife Vicky wanted to go. I think she went for a little bit, decided to come back. I think it was just whatever happened. Once again, I'm not a crowd person. I think my good friend Diane, if Diane comes on today, I'll have to ask her, did she ever go to the chosen few picnics? And again, it's a wonderful gathering. I was seeing online that Chicago comedian Dion Cole will be there tomorrow to spin. Good old boy from Chicago. I don't mean good old boy from white perspective. Just a good brother. I've seen his work. I'd like to meet him one day. He used to be on Blackish with Anthony Anderson and Tracy Ellis Ross and uh, who else was on there? Lawrence Fishburne. Great show. So he was on that as well. Hey, Diane, I just brought you. Yes, I was there when it was free. Yeah, I remember Vicky talked about that back in the day about it being free. But you know how capitalism is, and this is where we are now. I, as a house head myself, it would be beautiful, but I just don't do crowds well, especially if it's like hell hot. Let's see real quick. I think tomorrow's they said it'll be 90, but you know the temperature changes. You know that. Let's see. So tomorrow for Saturday got here listed as 86. Oh, that's not bad for the chosen few. It's not bad in general, but yeah, I can't. I'm not. And like I said before, even when I was moving around, this wasn't into crowds. But when the house music is going, yeah, it's a wonderful thing. Oh, for real? Okay, thank you for mentioning that, Katrina. Gospel Fest is tomorrow as well. Okay, getting all these fests out here. Uh, I think the Blues Fest usually is in August. Anybody check it out for me? I appreciate it. Just as a public service announcement. So let's see. But getting back to the whole thing with the chosen few. So again, as Diane just typed about back in the day when it was free, yeah, you knew it wasn't going to last long. And I'm all for capitalism, but I think at the same time, um, be careful what you wish for. You just might get it. What broke my heart was the whole thing with the Silver Room Block Club party. That broke my damn heart. When they would have that in Hyde Park for years, or whoever coined the phrase downtown Hyde Park, or about 53rd and Harper, where the Hyatt is, everything else, that was a wonderful gathering. It really was. I miss that. I miss that tremendously, and I think something to do with once again being in the red financially. So they moved it from 53rd Street to somewhere on the lakefront, which is stupid because it takes the whole theory out of Silver Room Block Club party. Is now it's like Lakefront George or something like that, something stupid. I mean, it again breaks my heart. I mean, black folk, we can't have nothing. I don't mean I'm sorry. I'm serious because that alone, going back to the whole thing with the Silver Room Block Club part, that was fun. It was like a gathering of people they haven't seen in years. It's like a reunion. A couple times I went on a Saturday, it was fun, especially for me covering news all these years and dealing with these news stories with children. It was great to see children have, playing, on writing on the ground with chalk, playing hopscotch and drawing things. That really got my heart. But now you move someone to the lake, I don't. Ugh. Hello, Lisa. How you doing? Good afternoon, Base Nation. Thank you, Lisa, so much for being here. Uh, Lisa's a househead, and so is Diane. But again, I don't begrudge anybody going to the Chosen Few picnic. But going back to the whole thing, the parallel with the Silver Room Block Club party, man, gone. I'm not saying gone from there and then move somewhere on the lakefront. I don't get that at all. Help me make that make sense. As I said, I read this. I think I read it to you on the show from the Hyde Park Herald, the local newspaper there in the neighborhood, and it talked about once again the owner of the Silver Room going into financial situations where he got more in the red. Katrina, the days of innocence and safety versus today is a nightmare. Well, I definitely agree with that. Sad but true. Which is why it warmed my heart when I would go to the Silver Room Block Club party and see children in the street actually playing and not worrying about anything. That still is a great image to see. But it was not there to see anymore. Then your LOL. It's gone. So what do you do now? So again, it's not hell hot tomorrow. Once again, 86 degrees for the temperature. I said we'll see how it goes for people who do go for tomorrow for the Chosen Few block. Not the show. I'm now fusing the two together. That's I'm going to get old. The Chosen Few picnic, and on a side note, I was saying the Silver Room Block Club party. So there you go. 47 tour the devastation left by flashing flooding in central Texas amid growing questions about how local officials responded to the crisis, as well as questions about the federal response, including the fate of the Federal Emergency Management Agency, also known as FEMA. 47's visit on Friday came a week after heavy rainfall caused the Guadalupe River in Kerr County to raise 26 feet in less than 1 hour, killing at least 121, including a dozen of children, the nearby Christian summer camp, Camp Mystic. From Trump, the First Lady and I are here to express in Texas to express our love and support and anguish of our entire nation in the aftermath of this really horrific and deadly flood. He said this at a roundtable event with first responders and local officials. We mourn for every single life that was swept away in the flood, and we pray for the families that are left behind. He said, it's amazing the incredible spirit from those families. The search for more than 170 people are still missing continues with more than 2,100 responders on the ground in Texas from local, state, and federal agencies. When 47 says these things, I don't believe it. I don't think the man has any type of will for compassion at all. Probably some form of compassion for himself, but not for others. So I don't believe not a damn word he says. Meanwhile, local officials are under scrutiny about what steps are taken to adequately warn people and how long it took for authorities to take action besides based on escalating weather and other alerts. 47 notably hasn't engaged in similar criticism about how the crisis was handled as he has done in the case of other disasters. He said today, nobody has any idea how and why a thing like this could happen. He was asked for his response to those who say the warning alerts didn't go out in time and that more people could have been saved. Quote, well, I think everybody did an incredible job under the circumstances, unquote. I just have admiration for the job that everybody did. There's just admiration. People died, and somebody fell asleep at the switch about getting the alerts out. Would it could have saved more lives. Could have saved lots of lives. I'm telling you, we're living in an era. I mean, maybe it's always been here. It's been cloaked in kindness, quote unquote, alleged kindness, but this is pure evil. From people's response of, once again, 121 deaths to date for the total of the Texas floods. Katrina, Trump should have auditioned for the circus. Yeah, big time clown show. Big time clown show. He went on to criticize the reporter for asking the question. Only an evil person would ask that question, he said. God, this guy is an idiot. I think that this has been heroism. This has been incredible, really. The job you all have done. It's easy to sit back and say, oh, what could have happened here or there? Maybe we could have done something differently. This was a thing that's happened before. Okay. Trump later added two words, unity and competence. If you were to ask me two words that I've seen here, oh my, you can smell the BS from here. And I know he has to do this because he's the president, but if he would have stayed home, I still would have been cool with it because don't see him operating from the standpoint of leadership, from the standpoint of caring is concerned. I don't think he cares. I really don't. Well, I just think it's a waste of time. So going back to 47, apparently there's this rift between him and Putin. Seriously. Going back to 47, is there a direct link between what 47 says and what Russian President Vladimir Putin does? Certainly, the harsh words and bitter violence of the recent days in Ukraine suggest the answer is maybe. First, 47 vented his frustrations at the lack of commitment from his Russian counterpart to engage in a serious peace process. We got a lot of bullshit thrown at us, said by Putin. This is Trump saying this, of course. If you want to know the truth, he's very nice all the time, but it turns out to be meaningless. The very next day, as if infuriated by remarks, Russia launched its target drone attack on Ukraine, sending 728 drones and 13 missiles to strike cities around the country in multiple waves. It was a telling attack. Observer Ukraine President Vladimir Zelensky, who condemned the strikes as time to rebuff peace efforts. There are apparent signs of a pattern. Man, go back out to the peanut gallery. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. To Sick Diggy. How you doing, Sick? Thank you for being here. And yes, TGIF. That's right. Thank you so much. Exactly what it is. Sub Jed, good afternoon, Base Nation. That press conference was hard to watch. Evil using dead kids' thoughts and prayers to hide their incompetence. Yeah, that was disgusting. legit. It was disgusting. Children who were going to a camp, Camp Mystic, and now they're gone. Someone on social media posted a very touching picture of the kids now in heaven running to Jesus Christ. Now, depending on your affiliation of religion, or maybe don't believe in religion at all, I think it was a very tender moment, me personally. I think it was nice. I think it gave some sort of peace if you believe in that. And I think that's the main thing, like this whole thing with the war in Ukraine. What's happening here in America, what's happening overseas, what's happening all around the world. Peace should be the word. This, not two. We should be involved in this. But a lot of people don't want peace. They made it very, very clear. There's people out there who just want to see the world burn, even if they strike the match themselves. They're just out there. And it's just that simple. So, again, it becomes an ongoing problem. When you're dealing with people who, again, are trying to continue mass hysteria, who continue to not want what's best for the common folk because they're in it to win it for themselves, this is what you get. I'm surprised, to be completely transparent with you, that Trump said anything bad about Putin. I'm shocked because, as we've seen before, even when in his first administration, when he went over to Russia, how docile he was, how quiet he was. Yeah, because Putin's his boss. Trump, that's his bitch. Putin's pimp hand is strong when it comes to that type of thing. And then he had the nerve to say something against his boss, meaning Trump. He had the nerve to say something negative, saying that Putin should stop it. Yeah, wait. I mean, back up. I mean, it's the same person. Well, go back. Let's go back to Trump and Elon Musk. So that marriage wasn't going to last long because of egos. And the same could be said in this situation. First and foremost, we understand about Trump that he wants to be a dictator. He said so. He hangs around dictators like Putin or Kim Jong Un for North Korea. That's what he wants. That's what he strives to be. He continues to embrace that philosophy, embrace um, that mantle. He'll never get it. Case in point, what we witnessed or didn't witness, depending on if we saw it or not, the tanks going down Washington, D.C. during this so-called birthday celebration. Because that's what Germans do. That's what North Koreans do. That's what Russians do to celebrate their dictators. The military, the pomp and circumstance, so to speak. All the military warfare is give to all praise to the dictators. And that's what Trump strives to be still. And you are and I are paying the price. Again, the damnedest of shame. So what do you think about that? But again, to so-called lose your patience with Putin, lose your patience. That was the exact quote. After days of expressing displeasure with his latest phone call with Putin, Trump went even further at a cabinet meeting. He suggested the man he had vouched for and spent years curiously avoiding criticizing might not be a reliable person. Again, this is Trump. we got a lot of bullshit thrown at us by Putin. If you want to know the truth, once again, this is a direct quote. I'm just requoting it. He's a very nice man all the time, but it turns out trying to be meaningless. It's not only suggesting that Trump is evolving in his stance, or at least his rhetoric on the war in Ukraine. This week has been as a reverse and a brief pause in defense weapons shipped to Ukraine, while suggesting this was an undertaking by others in administration. He has for now largely abandoned blaming both sides for the war, after most and almost always pairing any critique of Russia with a critique of Ukraine, as if they were equal partners in prolonging Russia's war of aggression. And on Tuesday, he, without prompting, praised the courage of Ukraine's fighters, suggesting the huge investment the United States has made in Ukraine's defense hasn't been the boondoggle that many of the MAGA base believe. It gets deeper and deeper, people. It really does. What's your take on that, or anything else on your mind? Again, it's free your mind. Anything you want to talk about, you know the routine by now. I should tell you, but I'll tell you. You want to call in? Here's the number: 312-597-2106. Again, 312-597-2106 to call in. Catch me there on the YouTube channel, the Chris Base channel, with a period at the end of channel. Make sure you subscribe, like, and share. Make sure you do that, bad boy. Also, I'm on Instagram. I am the base. Also, if you be so bold, and you should, I'm gonna go around once. Ask for the link, since the links now are fixed, and I'll put it in there and come on through it. Again, if you don't want to show your face, that's fine. If you're just an ugly person, we understand. I don't judge people. Again, you can put up something, then that way they'll be able to see you. You can stop camera. Something like this. And that way you want to see your mouth moving, if you like, or I don't know, it could be in your skivvies or something like that, or you don't want anybody to see you. That's cool. Because if you do this on the stop cam, once again, you see that ring around my dome, that's my voice. And that could be your voice too, depending on who and where you are. It can happen. And so, yeah, you requested, I put in the link, and then we'll go from there. And again, I always want you to communicate. Or if you still want to communicate, of course, through the peanut gallery, the comment section, please do so. Nothing wrong with that as well. So we're trying to get everybody involved. But also challenge yourself. Let's see. So let me check on a couple of things real quick here. Okay. Got that. Okay. And let's see. Got that. Okay. Let's see as we go back to the comment section. So Omar says hello, Chris, and hello, Barbara Jean, and happy Friday to you both. Happy Friday to you too as well. How you doing? Thank you. Thank you, Omar. Thank you for checking in as well, being part of the excursion. Appreciate it more than you know. Let's see here. So again, with the temperature of our country, it's just one of those things where you're trying to make sense out of nonsense, which is not easy to do. But what can you do? It's done anyway. Let's see. What was that story? What do you say, Omar? It's raining here in Georgia. Okay, yeah, we had some rain last night, as a matter of fact, here back in Chicago. Yeah, we had some rain last night. So let me see. Let me make sure I got the story here. when you watch these stories over and over again, dealing with 47, again, it's a lot to process. It really is. But I think at the same time, we have to find a way to navigate. As I said before, that's why I keep telling people, navigate, navigate. And I think that helps because you can be inundated with all this type of information that he's going once in a while. It's like I said before, I mean, every goddamn 10 to 15 minutes news cycle. That's what he wants. And that's what he's getting. And it's by design. Like I said, if I didn't hear a president do this all the goddamn time, every time. Breaking news. Let's not hear about breaking news on these news channels. Breaking news. It's not breaking news. It's just bullshit. Anyway, breaking news. Um, you got to find a way to, again, just go. Because if not, then they win. And you don't want them to win. Former Representative Jesse Jackson Jr. is quietly exploring a comeback in the Illinois 2nd Congressional District after more than a decade out of office, including a 2-year prison term. Jackson, the son of course civil rights leader Reverend Jesse Jackson Sr. and the brother of Representative Jonathan Jackson, was a Democrat who was rising, who served in Congress 17 years before stepping down in 2012 due to health reasons. A federal conviction for campaigning finance violations and prison time followed for him and his then wife Sandy, a former Chicago alderman. Now, after working as a Chicago radio commentator, Jackson is now talking to residents and community leaders about another run, motivated by allies described as concerns about the ripple effect of 47's MAGA bill, which was signed into law on July 4th. It caught the attention of some key Democrats, including retired Representative Bobby Rush, who said Jackson would give voice to a marginalized and forgotten American citizens of the 2nd Congressional District, according to his statement he sent to Playbook. The district stretches from Chicago's South Side, once a stronghold for Jackson, and into the suburbs. The seat is wide open when Democratic Representative Robin Kelly, who has held the seat since 2013, announced she's running for the Senate earlier this year. Other notable names have entered the March Democratic primary, including State Senator Robert Peters, management consultant Eric France, who I interviewed on CBI this past Wednesday, and policy expert Adal Regis. Democratic Cook County Commissioner Donna Miller is also weighing in on the bid. I asked Eric France on CBI this past Wednesday about Jesse Jackson possibly doing an exploratory to come back in the House for a House comeback bid. And Eric's response was, "You already have a felon in office." That was what he said. And I was like, "Ooh." So, yeah, I didn't see that one coming. But he was cordial after, he backed up a little bit. I just paraphrasing, saying that, a lot of people going to get involved in running for that particular office. But that was a direct hit. So it does make you think. For Jesse Jackson Jr., would you vote for him if he went back to try to make a comeback? Would you? I don't know if I personally would, but if I was advising him, I would advise him to go back in the Senate. I would advise him, not to go to be in the Congress. I would suggest he run for the mayorship of Chicago. Now, here's why. Our current mayor, Brandon Johnson, I think he's a one and done. I predicted it towards the very last year, but he has done so much to alienate his own people, his own constituents in one term, and it doesn't look good for a second one. It does not. So I think he's one and done. I think if Jesse Jr. really want to make a dent to be the next mayor of Chicago, I think that'll be the path. Because traditionally, people like a comeback story. They really do. I mean, that's their heartstrings. The person did their time, if they went to jail or went through some sort of troubles and tribulation in their life, and now they're a 180 spin, and now they got their life in order, and everybody loves that. So if it's real, my people, if it's real and it's genuine and it's the comeback story of all comeback stories, I say him trying to be mayor. And I think that would be the lane for him. That's just me personally. But if he came back would you vote for him? I probably would not. I like a comeback story too, but and I love Jesse Jackson Jr. We corresponded a couple times on social media. I wouldn't mind having him on the show. He currently is doing radio for KBLA Talk 1580 for LA, Los Angeles. LA, that's Tavis Smiley's station. Tavis Smiley owns that radio station. So in the beginning, before all this went out, I thought he was gearing me and Jesse Jr. to be a talk show host and possibly try to get national syndication. Because he was doing some shows here at WVON here in Chicago for a while. And I think that his show was on the lineup, and then they changed it. So I don't know what the deal was. Maybe if Barbara Jean's still here, I know Barbara Jean probably flipping back and forth because Jesse Jackson's on now, meaning Junior, then there you go. We have sick. Is Jesse Jr. eligible to hold public office? Well, we got the exploratory committee. That seems to me that if he was not qualified, he couldn't have the exploratory committee. That would be a waste of time. But he served his 2 years. From the article I was reading Politico, it seems as though everything is clear unless I missed something. But no, from the article from Politico, yeah, he's cleared, meaning Jesse Jr. to run for another run for office. So, like I said before, with with Eric France saying what he said on Wednesday on Chris Bates interview on CBI, saying that you already have one felon in office. I mean, that was a direct blow, of course, to Junior and what he did in the past. And again, saying that you don't want another. We got enough felons. Why should we vote for more? So we're definitely seeing time. I just believe that the comeback story thing is what everybody really embraces. The public loves it. Now, either you fake the funk, or as some people say, fake it till you make it, or it's the real deal, Holyfield. So I don't know. I don't know Junior that well. I don't know him at all. I know his brother Jonathan. I know him, but never got a chance to meet Junior. So I don't know. We'll see in time. To me, the more the merrier in this political landscape. The Democrats do need some form of leadership all across the board because they suck wind right now because they have none. And I do mean none. He served in the military and as a New Jersey elected official. It's been a little bit, but my man's back. Please welcome back to BaseLine, George L. Cook III. Get him on here real quick, and then bam. Hey, how you doing, George?
Hey, what's up, Mr. Base? How you doing this Good Friday? Well, afternoon.
Yes, sir. Good to see you, Doc. How's everything?
Everything's good. In case you didn't know, I'm on crutches. I forgot I was 56 years old and went out there and played basketball with the young boys, and it did not end well.
Oh man, when did this happen?
Oh, June 21st, I popped my quad, came clear off my knee, so I'll be laid up till about mid-August.
Good night. What you out there trying to hoop with the young boys, man?
Cause I'm stupid.
Oh, okay, I didn't see that one coming. Okay, well, look, brother. I know you're trying to have the fountain of youth go out there to play basketball, man. But look, on a side note, now you blew your quad. So in the NBA, a lot of players have ruptured their Achilles tendon.
Yeah.
And it seems as though that it was like Jason Tatum and Damian Lillard, a lot of these other ball players were just ruining their Achilles. One person made a very good point that they all were wearing low cut sneakers.
Yeah. We were talking about that just before I got hurt. Everybody wears, they don't even wear 3/4 anymore. They wear low cut. So, and it's like these guys never stopped playing. They had a real busy summer with the Olympics last summer, whatever they played last summer and everything. So they had a lot of miles on them. I think it's catching up to them.
Yeah.
And Halliburton, you said, what's the name? There's a lot of people getting hurt right now. So
Yeah.
I think the athlete has gotten more advanced in the technology, if you know what I mean. They've
Yes.
advanced further than they should have with the technology that we have.
I agree. Well, first and foremost, get well, brother, and take your time. And when you get back on the scene, and don't want too much stuff. Like I said before, man. So real quick before we move on to your segment, so how far were you into, say, time wise, playing with the brothers before the unfortunate
That's what's
accident?
crazy. I played. It was an organized game for Juneteenth.
Right.
I came in. I played the entire second quarter. Came out the third. I was playing most of the fourth, and then I cut. To get the ball. Pow, something popped. I dropped. And I
Wow.
guess God was like, as long as you go forward and back, you good. But if you go side to side, you on your own. And that's what happened. I tried to cut side to side. Pow, drop. I was doing Halliburton on the court, punching the floor and everything.
Ouch.
Then I tried to be Kobe, stand up and take the foul shots because I got fouled.
Right.
Got to the foul line. As soon as they passed me the ball, I fell again. So I just got to pay for the ambulance ride. And yeah, I popped my. But it wasn't as bad as it looked. Like I said, I had surgery. What's today? Tuesday. Like I said, surgery Tuesday.
This past Tuesday?
Yeah.
Okay.
They put it back together. So now I can say, I always tell my daughter I'm a world-class athlete. Now I can say I'm a world-class athlete for real. I got a world-class injury.
I know, right? For real, as they say. Well, as we said, man, get well. And thanks for being here as always. The floor is yours. Go right ahead.
Okay. What I want to tell people about, a lot of things you may not have noticed with the fiasco going on with the Big Ugly Bill and the unfortunate floods in Texas. The National Department of Health, the NIH Institute of Health, they stopped funding for a study in Detroit, which was looking into why Black babies are born prematurely and why they have lower mortality rates. And they said they stopped it because it was a right-wing radical agenda. That's why they stopped it. So in other words, saving the lives of Black babies is not important if you can say it's DEI or whatever. That's something we need to pay attention to, because that's not just not going to pertain to Detroit. It's going to pertain to Black babies, brown babies born everywhere.
Right.
And also, while we were all paying attention to something else, they cut $9 billion that was meant for summer programs here in the United States. And you guys live in Chicago. You know what it's like if you don't have things for these kids to do over the summer. And I'm talking about Boys and Girls Club, camps, a camp a church might put on. So even some schools are getting money from this fund. Now they're not getting it, and they don't know when they're going to have to stop programming. They may have to. You may come in one day and the doors are shuttered. They just don't know. So that, to me, that's something we need to pay attention to, because we can't have all these kids out there over the summer with nothing to do. And my favorite story is the National Association of Black Journalists told Donald Trump to kick rocks until it didn't invite him to that conference this year after the fiasco that happened last year. So at least somebody's finally learning something and catching on. And Donald Trump's press secretary had the nerve to be a little upset about that, but you saw how he acted last year. He insulted the host, rude to those, never answered the question whether or not Kamala Harris was Black. I don't even see why he would even think to invite him back, but I'm happy that they didn't. And of course, we all know that Ebony Fest wasn't the Ebony Fest this year, because and a lot of people were very, very upset about that, because they spent good money to go down there and didn't get what they paid for. Not the most important story, but it's something that happened this week.
Yeah. No, I'm a member of the NABJ, and when that happened in real time, I was like, nah, you can't invite Trump to that type of thing. And what got me was, come to find out, he was an hour late. He shows, like you said before, he walks in with an attitude. He sits down, and once again, insults the moderator. It was a three-person moderator, and he insults the moderator. And again, because that's his nature. Then you have people in the audience, the gasp for breath. No, you know what this was before he walked in. So don't act surprised.
Yeah, that was a lesson to all those Black folk who always say you got to invite the enemy in and learn what they're going to do, There was nothing gained at all from inviting Trump to the conference. Nothing. Then no new information. He didn't even lie about what he could do for Black people. It was all I'm allowed to curse on the new show? All right.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
It was all the shit show. It was one of the most embarrassing things I think most of them will have ever been involved with. So I'm happy they didn't invite him. And also, the Urban League didn't invite him to that conference either. I'm sure you know about the NAACP didn't invite him. but the Urban League is not inviting them either. So that's good. These organizations are realizing it's a waste of time and they have better things to deal with. It would be nice to have the president there, but not if he's not the president of everybody.
But see, I don't understand the reasoning in inviting him in the first place. I mean, look, I know some people say respect the office, not the person in the office, like him. But it's intertwined, obviously, and his representation of this country is not for all of us. When he says stuff like "Make America Great Again," I take it for code as "Make America White Again," from the standpoint of looking after racist white people and fat rats who are millionaire billionaires, give them all these big tax cuts and things like that. So it's not for us at all. So why would you invite him anyway? I just think it's stupid. So kudos to the NAACP and for NABJ for finally waking the hell up, because I think that situation, to be honest with you, George, I think that NABJ situation, somebody got paid. I think somebody got paid under the table to invite this man because there really was no reason to. And then someone had mentioned, I said, well, how many presidents are invited to NABJ meetings? And someone said they were going on for years. I'd never heard of it. I never heard of presidential candidates going to NABJ meetings at all.
I mean, you think about it, for Trump, there was a benefit to accepting the invitation because he could say to his white followers, as MAGA people, look, I tried. So you can say, look, I'm not racist. I went there. That would be the benefit of him going there. He can lie and say he's not racist. I went into their house and spoke to them. They were rude to me. They were mean to me, but I tried. So there was a benefit in him going, but there wasn't a benefit in them having him.
Absolutely amazing. One of the things I want to talk about that you had on your social media page was about Marvel's Ironheart. Yeah, please tell us about that.
Oh, you know, when it comes to well, first people have the misconception that Ironheart is just a female version of Iron Man. No, it's two distinct characters, two completely different characters. Ironheart has nothing to do with. I mean, they have a connection because, of course, they wear the suits, and he helps her initially with going to MIT and all that. But she's a completely separate character. She's not them making a white character black. That's what I think a lot of people thought. And there's a lot of hate and racism, which was to be expected.
Yeah.
But obviously, these incels that live in their mama's basement got nothing else to do but get mad at a fictional character, not a real character, a fictional character in a comic book. And the reason they're really mad because the show was good. You can a lot of times you can hate on Disney shows, but the show was actually good. The cliffhanger it ended on, if it doesn't come back, I'm gonna be pissed. But that was a good show, and it just shows you that in the most minute things, there's racism there. And they were mad. And then when it came out, then when it was like 97% on Rotten Tomatoes, they were really pissed. Because it's a good show, and it just happened to have a predominantly black and brown cast. There's nothing wrong with that. If the show was good, the show was good. And Ironheart was a good show.
I got to sit down and watch it. The reviews I read and the people I've seen on interviews, like on The View when it was coming out and everything else, I mean, it's really accepted to the point where they're real. So we look at the black and brown people involved, plus in Chicago, my hometown, I got to check that gave me interest in it and watching everything else and how they filmed here as well. The thing about it is you want the story to be some sort of connective tissue to the viewer. So if you're able to make it as real as possible, or so, okay, that I can go with that story because it's well written, then you go from there. And you're absolutely right. It's not a connection to Iron Man whatsoever. It's completely two different situations, and that's what I like about it because she is her own person. She's a brilliant scientist. And once again, I went back. Well, I did not. It was my first time watching it. It took me a while to watch Wakanda Forever. So I watched that, and that's when I first introduced her to that role in there in the Black Panther series. And so again, just being a scientist, a rogue, teenager and everything else, a rogue young person, putting all this stuff together. It's brilliant, and especially in an era, and you know this firsthand, George, where you look at us on TV and in movies, we're gangsters, we're shooting up, we're still pimps, we're still prostitutes and shit like that. It's nice to see a character that is 180 of all that.
Yeah, you forgot comic relief. We're also the comic relief, but not. She played this well. Now, what I liked about it, she's a flawed character. She's young, she's a teenager, she's going to make mistakes, get in over her head, and I liked it. They didn't try to, gloss over it or have a happy ending. She makes mistakes, and I like this. And those are the kind of characters you can grow. You can see the hero's journey, which you normally don't get to see with black characters. So I love that. Like I said, they better be a season 2. I'm going to be pissed. I don't know if they're gonna try to transition this into the movie somehow. I don't know, but there's got to be a season 2.
I was talking to a friend of mine, and she was reluctant about seeing the movie Sinners because she doesn't like horror movies. I was trying to explain to her it's more than a horror
Yeah.
movie. Don't get me wrong; that's just one layer of many layers of the movie. It is once again fantastic. Ryan Coogler, stone cold genius. Again, I'm proud of the brother for owning the movie 100% outright. That movie belongs to him and nobody else. From that perspective, from your lens, why should people go watch this movie? And even now, you go on streaming services or rent it, whatever, or buy it. Why is this movie important?
All right, you've heard a lot about Sinners. It's not a vampire movie. It's a movie with vampires. So if you're a hardcore horror, you're expecting to see vampires go. No, that's not gonna happen. This is a very textured, layered movie, and you get to know these characters. Most horror movies, you see them for 5 minutes. Okay, that's the jock, that's the slut, that's the hero, that's the last girl. This movie is not like that. You get to know these characters, so when they die or they go, you feel something for them, or you understand their motivations. That's what I loved about this. It was a slow build, but you didn't realize it was a slow build because it was
Yes.
funny. Sometimes it was sad. These were real human beings coming back, smoking stack. They're funny together, nice chemistry. No, I know it's the same actor, but that was great. And if you, I don't know, I trust me, if you like The Color Purple, if you like vampire movies, it's like a mixture, all that put together, and it's funny. And it's, I heard somebody say it was voodoo. Like number one, it was hoodoo, and it's not that huge. It's not a huge part of the movie. Like so I know some religious people wouldn't go see it because of that.
Right.
They refuse to go see it. And it's demonic. I'm like, I've never heard you call any other horror movie demonic. But you could call most, if you want to, you could call most horror movies demonic, but I've never heard that before until Sinners come out. But Sinners is so much more than a horror movie. I mean, it's got to be nominated for Best Director, Best Cinematography, Best Actor, Best Supporting Actress. There's probably a lot more they can be nominated for, but it's got to be nominated for all those things because this was a groundbreaking movie. And I'm happy that everybody's watching it now on streaming and pay-per-view, but you should have taken your asses to the movies. The movie capped out at 278 domestic. It could have made 300 million domestically if everybody that waited till it came out on streaming and went to go see it in theaters. And we got to understand, every director is not a Ryan Coogler. They were pretty sure Ryan Coogler's movie was going to do well. But if you're a younger black director and you don't have a great first weekend, or they realize your audience is going to wait till it comes on streaming, they're not going to give that young director or that new director the same budget. He or she is not going to be able to tell the story they want to tell the way they want to tell it because they know in the back of their minds, well, 45 to 50% of the audience is waiting for it to come on streaming. I'm not going to spend that much movie on a movie that's going to make most of its profit from streaming. So we got to realize we got to unask the couch to start going to the theaters if we're going to support these. Don't be wrong. Buying it on streaming and seeing on HBO was Max, or is it Max now? Whichever one it is now. They changed the name again. But really try to see these movies in theaters. But it's funny because now it's like a whole second wave of like thousands of people who didn't. They're on like threads asking all these questions. You're like, we answered these already, and they think they're asking something thought provoking, and it was 3 months ago.
Right.
We've had these conversations, but if you haven't seen it, go see it. And the funny thing was somebody said from now on, Sinners is the official Juneteenth movie. I was like, well, could do worse. Okay.
You know what's cool, real quick, about the movie is, of course, Michael B. Jordan was just, I mean, lights out fantastic, playing the dual role, playing the brothers, smoking stack. To me, if I didn't know any better, that smoking stack came from Howlin' Wolf. He had a song called Smokestack Lightning. And I was like, damn, it wouldn't surprise me if he got that from that song and that title, because that's, once again, the whole blues influence when you watch the movie, and those two names in particular, that's the first thing I thought about.
Well, he slipped a lot into the movie. I don't know if you remember the car that Smoker Stack, when they originally were driving.
Yes.
That was a car that was designed by a black person. A black person made that car. That was that, and that's why they drove that particular. There's a lot of history he packed into this movie. So you can watch it every time, like, and you'll hear something else. Let me go watch that again. Like, oh, that did happen. So it's a lot in the movie. It's very layered. I know some people got thrown off by the music scene, the juke scene. They got a little thrown off, but you're thinking too hard.
Yeah.
So let's calm down, enjoy the movie.
Right.
I strongly suggest by this time next year, I think most of the people they'll get their black card back because they'll have seen it.
Let's go out to the comment section real quick. Barbara Jean says, I haven't seen Sinners. Barbara Jean, seriously, I don't recommend too much, but I highly recommend this movie. I was talking to my friend on the phone just yesterday, and I was telling her, please see it. Please see it. I know she don't like vampire movies and stuff like that, but again, like you just said, it's just a movie that happens to have vampires in it, and it's not the whole movie. It gives you layers upon layers of other things that you can walk away from. It's very heavily vetted with a lot of information in there. Let's see who else going. Hey, what's up, Jed? Sinners use music in such a unique way. Must see, best movie in a long time. I totally agree.
Oh yeah, I love the way it used music. I mean, I bought the because the album was #1 for me. I bought the album myself, and
Okay.
and I didn't realize there was that much bass in it. I'm like, oh, this is nice. So my favorite song is, of course, "I Lied to You," but it's that "Pale Moon Rising."
Yes.
If you get a chance, you gotta know what kind of sound system you got. Put "Pale Moon Rises" on and just blast it. I'm telling you that it's thumping. I wouldn't be surprised if you hear that in a lot of club mixes this year and beyond.
Well, you never know. I mean, especially when something is popular, because like you go back in the day before Kanye West lost his mind, when he was hot, and you had Jesus Walks.
Yeah.
And like he was saying the song about it playing in the nightclubs, and it was. I got a kick out of people that came in and went to the club, screaming out Jesus Walks.
Yeah. I don't know if you remember the song, what's that, Rain Down? I Want to Thank You. Those are all spirituals. People, they play those in clubs. So we've been doing it for years. Some people just didn't. I know a lot of people didn't. It was Fall Down. A lot of people didn't realize Fall Down was a gospel song until like months after they came out.
Yeah, exactly. What's that, Barbara Jean back in the comment section? I just haven't been to the movies in years. Vampires don't faze me. Well, I'm telling you, if you go to a streaming service, or like he said about Max or whatever they call it nowadays on cable, please, I highly recommend this. I'm telling you, both do. It is a great movie. I don't know if it will do well in the Oscars. The Oscars, get funny when it comes to us.
And it's going to be categorized as a horror movie, whether it is or not. That's going to hurt a little bit too.
Right. Yeah, I'm glad for the nominations. I'm not holding my breath anybody winning. If The Color Purple taught us a lesson, that taught us a lesson back in the day. It was like over 10 nominations, something like that. Then they won for, I don't know, maybe best director, costume, something like that, right?
Costume cut selection, yeah.
Yeah, everybody else was, best actor, best actress, best supporting, and didn't walked away with come up with wins.
I think Ryan Coogler has a decent shot at best director, though.
You think so?
I think he has a decent, because I mean, a lot of directors love the movie. Like people who love cinema love the movie. So I think
Spike Lee hella endorsed it. Yeah.
So I think that's gonna help. I think he has the best shot. I mean, I hope Michael B. Jordan gets nominated. I hope he gets. I don't see anybody being able to do that with two characters in the same movie. Hope he gets nominated. I mean, there's a lot of people that could be nominated. I'm pretty sure they'll nominate it just not to leave it out, not to get the backlash.
Right.
But it's got to get at least best director. I don't see any movie coming out this year that's going to be directed. I don't see anything coming out that I've seen on the list that's going to blow it away.
Great thoughts as always. George L. Cook, thank you so much for your time, brother. For more information about you, where can people find you at, sir?
You can find me at George Cook at AA Reports on Facebook, Twitter, Threads, TikTok now, and of course Fanbase, which is Black owned. You can find me on all those sites and YouTube. And Barbara, go see Sinners.
Tell them. I'm telling you, they're missing out. Good stuff, George. Thank you as always for hanging there with me doing the technical stuff. I'll see you on the fourth Saturday. Right. See, I'm back on Saturday again. God damn it. Fourth Friday. How about that?
All right. You enjoy your weekend.
All right. You too, brother. Take care.
All right.
Bye-bye. Take care and heal. George L. Cook III joining us. Yeah, that you gotta be careful when you go out there. I haven't played basketball in years, man, and I do mean years. Well, body changes. I can't move like I used to. I wouldn't mind going out there just for exercise from the standpoint of, throwing the ball back in the hoop and having somebody rebound for me and just doing that. I wouldn't mind doing that. I have to probably ask my nephew Caleb if he will spot for me. And it's like, we probably go somewhere and we can both go and shoot the rock and stuff like that. But you ever know, I haven't played a game in eons. Let's see. Barbara Jean, the only reason I can't vote for Jesse Jackson Jr. is because Danny K. Davis is my congressman. Okay. I actually like Triple J. I like him too. I really do. And I said before, I know his schedule was similar to mine about doing a show and everything else, but maybe we'll find a way. Maybe I'm on for a special time and day interview. But I love to interview him. I think I talked to you, Barbara Jeter, about that. I got to go through his producer or something like that. And I probably get on that and see how that would work. Since now being in the news about possibly running for the seat. Barbara Jeter, I love fan base. Yeah, I haven't checked it out yet. I'm an investor in fan base. Well, that's why you love it, because you're an investor, Barbara G. Ain't nothing wrong with that. That's cool beans. I still say that Junior is cut out more for the running for mayor of Chicago. I mean, that's just my gut reaction. I mean, if I was in politics, if I was someone who was a campaign manager and was in his ear or in his private circle, I would recommend that. I really would. I would be steadfast on that one. Let's see. So again, you know how to contact us. So come on through. Love to hear from you. Love to get your take on things as we free our minds on a Friday, as we always do. Like I said before, when you change times and well, especially days, you still got to get acclimated to it. I did not mean to say Saturday, but you know how it is. I tell people, you want to know the secret of the fountain of youth? Do not get old. If you don't get old, then you'll be just fine. Let's see. Let's see. I didn't get a chance to talk about this last week, but I'll mention it now. Let's see. Michael Madsen's cause of death has now been revealed. 5 days after the Reservoir Dogs and Kill Bill actor was found dead at his home in Malibu, California at age 67, NBC4 LA reported on Tuesday, July 8th, that Madsen's cardiologist said he died from heart failure. Let's see. He goes on to say, according to the outlet, his doctor said heart failure will be listed as Madsen's cause of death, his heart disease and alcoholism named as contributing factors. The NBC affiliate also reported that an autopsy will not be conducted because Madsen's cardiologist signed his death certificate and that the LA Sheriff's Department has closed its investigation into Madsen's death and listed his death as from natural causes. Let's see here. In the last 2 years, Michael Madsen has done some incredible work with independent film, including upcoming feature films Resurrection Road, Concessions, and Cookbook for the Southern Housewives, and was really looking forward to his next chapter in his life. Let's see here. Aside from Tarantino working with Quentin Tarantino projects, Madsen was also known for his role in Thelma and Louise back in 1991. Also worked in Free Willy in 93, and perhaps most famously, Dominic Sonny Black in Donnie Brasco in 1997. So, yeah, I liked him. I liked him a lot. It was one of my good friends, God rest his soul, Jay Marvin, who I used to work with back at WLS AM, had recommended that movie to me. It was a couple of movies recommended Reservoir Dogs and LA Confidential. So I checked them out, and that's the first Quentin Tarantino movie that I ever watched was that. And now that unfortunately Michael Madsen has passed away, there's a viral video of him meeting Michael in Reservoir Dogs saying that because all the actors had to wear black suits. And he was saying because they're all starting out, a lot of those suits didn't match up. Like his suit, for example, was from 2 different suits. He had from a black jacket, and I think he had some dark blue jeans, something like that, whatever. And he didn't have, meaning Michael Madsen, he didn't have dress shoes, so he wore the cowboy shoes, the cowboy boots, I should say. which made sense incorporated into the movie because when you watch Reservoir Dogs, when he takes the blade out, the straight razor out, and he's about to do old boy and cut his ear, and he did a little funky dance because he was dancing to "Stuck in the Middle with You," and he's like, he told Quentin, "I can't dance," and it was like, well, we'll play it and see what happens. So when he's doing a little funky move, yeah, I think it's cool because he can't dance for crap, but just the fact that his character was getting into this whole sadistic thing about cutting a boy's ear off and stuff like that. Other movies he did with him was The Hateful Eight, and as we said, the aforementioned Kill Bill movies. Yeah, I always did like Michael Madsen as an actor. Always good stuff. The tributes to Madsen poured in following the news of his death, including from his actress sister, Virginia Madsen, who said in a statement to Variety, "My brother Michael has left the stage. He was thunder and velvet, mischief wrapped in tenderness, a poet disguised as an outlaw, a father, a son, a brother, etched in contradiction, tempered by love that left his mark." That was beautiful. That was from his sister, Virginia Madsen. Good stuff. Yeah, I liked him as an actor too. I mean, I always loved his work. And again, we all know it's the inevitable, but it still hurts, and it always will when someone passes away. Let's see. Let me check this real quick. Okay, here's some inside news for those of you who like radio. iHeartMedia has announced the appointment of Kayshawn Powell as Vice President of Programming, overseeing adult R&B here in Chicago, V103, Hip Hop 107.5, WGCI, News, Ben 640, WMFN, and Gospel Inspiration 1390 WGRB. Powell will report to SVP/Programming James Howard. She joined iHeartMedia from Radio 1, where she spent the past decade in Washington, D.C. as Program Director for Adult R&B Magic 102.3, WMMJ, before rising to Operations Manager and then VP/Programming for the company Washington and Baltimore stations, as well as creator and executive producer for Urban One Honors. Paul began her career at Radio 1, Hip Hop 97.9 The Box, KBXX Houston in 1992, eventually rising to program director before departing in 2002. And it goes on from there. The reason I'm mentioning this is because the person she's replacing is a guy named Derek Brown. And Derek Brown's been in Chicago for a long time. And now he's no longer with us from the standpoint of working is concerned. And I got the news about that a couple of days ago. In fact, my man Jojo Collins sent me that a few days back. And I had no idea about Derek being let go. And the reason I say this inside stuff with you is just about the business and just about how radio is and was and will continue to be. So we mostly have local shows here in Chicago. And I think it was Marcus Chapman online. Marcus Chapman also worked here in Chicago. Became a contributor for I can't think of the show right now, drew a blank. Disc jockey music. So he has said that the Breakfast Club, which is produced by iHeart, will be on, say, WGCI or something like that. And he might be right. I'm all for local programming. I get syndication, I get it, and some of us at one point want to be syndicated, like myself at one point. So understand the ins and outs of the whole thing. But when you abandon local programming for syndication, then it never comes back. It's pretty much gone in the abyss unless something completely happens and the station does a 180 from a corporate perspective. But usually it's gone forever. And it becomes all automated. When you think about it, there's nobody on there live. Now, that's going to be interesting. Say, for example, what Marcus had typed in comes true. Say it comes true. Then what happens? And I think people have abandoned radio years ago. If please chime in on this one, I want to get your take because again, you're the audience. I've worked in radio. I want to get your take on it. I think because when corporate got involved, that it became a cookie cutter sounding station. Like all the stations sound the same. There's no type of individuality. There's no type of connective tissue again from the station to the listener. And there's no real personality. Like, for example, V103. So V103 starts off with the Steve Harvey Morning Show. Okay, we got that. After that, everybody is local on V. And their respective time slots have done quite well, especially Joe Soto, who does afternoons on V. So I hope they don't temper with that. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And I hope not, because again, this is what you're dealing with when people get on board and change things. Oh man. So I want to share that with you because again, the state of radio being what it is, a lot of people venture out and listen to podcasting. All these different voices out there, all these different sounds. A 5-year-old boy in Texas died after being left in a hot car with his mother fully believing the child was at a daycare, according to the San Antonio Police Department. The mother, 22, typically drops off her 5-year-old son at the daycare at Pinnacle Kids Academy in San Antonio and then goes to work, which is right next door, police said. But on Wednesday, she went to work at 8 a.m., fully, and fully is in quotation marks, believing that the child went at daycare with the 5-year-old left in the back seat of the vehicle, officials said. When she finished work at approximately 4:30 p.m., the mother drove to the daycare to pick up her son, but staff told her she did not drop him off, police said. That is when she realized she left him in the vehicle. The mother then went back to her vehicle and noticed he was still in the car seat and unresponsive. Paramedics arrived at the scene and made notification that he died. So JoJo, yeah, we said, hey brother, Keith Sweat is syndicated. All right, going back to B103, I was saying, first of all, thank you for the article that you were sending about Derek Brown. And what's the other station we have here? Soul 1063. When he was on, Al B. Sure had a syndicated show as well. They're kind of like going head to head. But Soul Signal out of Indiana is not that strong as V, so you kind of went out by sound. But yeah, you're right about that. Yes, the Ski Sweat, the Sweat Hotel on V103 and syndicated. So you're right. I just think that if you're careful, the whole station becomes syndicated. If you're not careful, and so again, with the new person coming in, I hope she realizes that again, like I said before, don't mess it up. It's a good formula. It's still bringing in ratings from the standpoint of live hosts on there. I know the cheapest way is to gut out live people and put in what we call canned programming and syndicated programming because you're not paying a lot. and then you go from there. And I hope they don't get out the station. I just hope. I hope not. I hope not. Let's see. Homicide supervisors and detectives who arrived at the scene with officials investigating whether or not the death was accidental or criminal. As of Thursday, they have not made any arrests made, and the investigation remains active. San Antonio Police Chief William McManus described the incident as an extremely tragic situation and told reporters the family members of the boy are quite distraught. This serves as a tragic reminder. Check the back seat and don't leave children or pets in the vehicle here in South Texas, McManus told reporters on Wednesday. The identities of the mother or child have not been released by the police. According to Kids and Car Safety, the organization focuses on saving the lives of children and pets in and around vehicles. Nearly 40 children die in hot cars every year in the United States, which is approximately one every 9 days. And again, I've been covering this type of stuff for 30 years. And I remember I did a story years ago about a mother in, I want to say Detroit or somewhere in Michigan, who left her 3 children, I think it was like ages 6, 4, and 2, in the backseat of a car while she went to get her hair done. In a hot, steaming car in the summertime because she wanted to get her hair done. Which is totally selfish and not thinking of your children whatsoever. I don't think they died. I think they were, not that I don't recall them dying, but just the fact that what so-called parent leaves their child or children in a hot steaming car? Not even using common sense. And once again, it's not common anymore. If your ass is in a hot ass car, what think the children are going to take it? What makes you think that it's okay? Now, this story with the 22-year-old mother sounds a little shaky to me. I don't know about you, but it sounds a little shaky to me. How can you forget to drop off your child at the daycare center? When did you have a space cadet moment? When did you space out? Because that's what it sounds like to me. You spaced out. Something else was going on. I know she had some sort of drug-infused moment. That's not part of the report. The report is still ongoing. But still, that just sounds kind of odd to me. It really does. So again, you know how to contact me, 312-597-2106. Again, 312-597-2106 to call me on board. Call me and free your mind. Also, you go through the comment section there, as a lot of people have been doing in the Peanut Gallery. Continue to do that. Also, you have other ways, of course. Ask for the link, the show link. I'll put the show link in the comment section, and then you come on board, and we'll talk just like this. Let's see. Congratulations to actor Keith David for getting a star on a Hollywood Walk of Fame. Good for him. Always love Keith David. Love his voice. I think they call him, what is it, the Silver Throat? Silver Throat, I think is his nickname. And if you've seen his reaction on social media, it's genuine. Because as we now know, you can pay for a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. You can pay for it, pretty much. How do I know? Years ago, and I do mean eons ago, go back in the time. Britney Spears, in the height of her popularity then, got a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. No, not Britney Spears. No, hell nope. Hell nope. I mean, there's other people well more deserving. But once I realized you could pay for it, then there you go. Because ain't no way in the world somebody voted for Britney Spears. I'm sorry. Not trying to down on any Britney Spears fans out there, but no, hell no. If your girl didn't get it like that, she paid for it. So Keith David's situation, from what I was told, was not paid for. They announced it. And I'm very happy for him. He more than deserved it. Who was going to start a Hollywood Walk of Fame? Glenn Turbin. Glenn Turbin been around the industry since he was a child, stage actor. In fact, you go back to the 60s, when you see the movie Raising the Sun, Sidney Poitier and Ruby Dee, when they were doing the stage version, Glenn Turbin played the son, but he aged out. And that's how they got another young actor to play the son, as I got the story right from that. But man, because I remember they were doing a feature on Glenn Turbin years ago in Jet. I miss Jet. I wish Jet was still around. Hell, I wish Ebony was still around. Hell, I wish the whole building was still around here in Chicago. Ebony Jet. Good night. I missed that. Anyway, so years ago, I'm reading an article about Glenn Turbin and had a still picture of him when he was a boy and Sidney Poitier. He could pass for his son. Skin tone and everything else. If you're a fan of horror movies and I know they call them black exploitation films. I hate that title, but black films in the 70s, he did a movie called J.D.'s Revenge, meaning Glenn Turbin. Glenn Turbin, who was in the movie, Luke Gossett Jr. It's about this college student who is possessed by a 1950s gangster named J.D. Walker. And apparently J.D. Walker in the storyline was murdered. So now he possesses Glenn Turbin's character to get his revenge, i.e., the revenge part of J.D.'s Revenge. There you go. One of my favorite movies. Joan Pringle is also in it. Joan Pringle went on to play the principal on CBS's The White Shadow. And she did it too. So it's not for the weak at heart. You gotta be very strong minded. But yeah, it dealt with possession and things of that nature. But yeah, I'm happy for both these men. Of course, he went on to do what was before that? I think it was after that or during that timeline. Cooley High played Preach. Various of the movies. You also catch him when he was doing A Different World. When he played in that for a little bit. Was just recently in Straw on Netflix with Taraji P. Henson. So congratulations to both men, to Keith David and to Glenn Turbin, two of my favorite actors. I'm glad they're getting it just due. In fact, on social media, they were showing them pulling up for Glenn Turbin's star. I haven't seen anything about Keith David yet from the standpoint of him at the ceremony, but I've seen Glenn Turbin's ceremony. Yeah, he was also married to Aretha Franklin at one point. Glenn Turbin. Yeah, he been around for a while. Been around for a while. So, good luck to both of them. They once again, high praise in my eyes. High praise. Let's see what else we got here. Now again, it's not just me, of course, doing these topics. I know it's my show, but you can always throw in. That's why I like this Free Your Mind Friday. Let's see. Superman arrived on Earth, a refugee from a dying world, adopted by farmers in the American heartland. But as The Man of Steel lands in theaters with a new reboot this weekend, some conservative critics are taking issue with the superhero saga being framed as an immigrant story. The outrage, primarily from the right-wing commentators, began percolating in the last week before many had even seen the film. The criticism centers around recent comments made by director James Gunn, who underscored how Superman's immigrant identity is weaved into the film's storyline. I mean, Superman is the story of America, Gunn told the Times of London newspaper in an interview published this week. An immigrant that came from other places and populated the country. But for me, it is mostly a story that says basic human kindness is a value that is something we have lost. Gunn has since repeated similar refrains from the film's press tour, fueling sentiments from critics who say he has unnecessarily politicized the superhero. Superhero comics have historically not shielded away from political themes. Captain America, for example, famously fought and punched Adolf Hitler, the 1941 comic cover, and Superman fought the Ku Klux Klan back in the radio broadcast in 1946. But the new Superman installment, which is being released by Warner Brothers, has become the latest superhero film to become a political flashpoint for commentators who have long publicized and publicly blasted Hollywood for its perceived liberalism. How dare you, you people? How dare you? Earlier this year, some fans threatened to boycott Captain America, Brave New World over comments made by Anthony Mackie, the first black man to play Captain America, about the superhero's identity. After Gunn's recent comments, the popular X account End Wokeness stated in a post, Hollywood literally never learns. In a Monday segment, Fox News labeled the movie super woke. Jesus, dumbasses. The segment banner read, iconic movie hero to embrace pro-immigrant themes. You know what it says on his cape? MS-13. Fox News host Jesse Waters joked, referring to the international criminal gang that President Donald Trump administration claims it is targeting in its immigration raids. You know, the so-called conservative or right-wing people continue to do their bullshit. That's what they do. Why? Because they make this shit up. I mean, find something else really to talk about. Find something else. It is a superhero movie. It has nothing to do with being woke. And I hate when you use that word. It has nothing to do with that whatsoever. I've been following comic books my whole life. I'm looking forward to seeing the new Superman movie, me personally. And so what if James Gunn made it a coalition of immigrants coming to a different country, which is what happened to Kal-El. Leaving his planet, his parents put him in a ship, saying goodbye to their only son, in the storyline that I'm familiar with. So he leaves Krypton. Krypton was being destroyed, goes to Earth, takes him 5 years to get to Earth. That's the timeline to get to Krypton to Earth. Krypton destroyed, Earth, he gets there, he lands, he's embraced by the Kents. Kansas, Smallville. And he grows into his powers, and he grows into becoming Superman. But the majority of his life at that point, he was Clark Kent. And that's usually it. That's usually the basis of the story. Like, you know that story? You know the Batman story? Thomas and Martha Wayne coming from the movie theater with an 8-year-old Bruce Wayne, go down an alley, a gun, thief wants to take what they got, fight rings out 2 shots. Thomas and Martha unfortunately dead and leaves young Bruce Wayne to become Batman. So we always know the gist of the story. But some people, like the conservative right wing, would find something wrong with this movie to make a comment that has so-called content. this sucks. For you to make up this content, you really stretching. You're stretching. Another Fox host, Greg Gutfeld, accused Gunn of trying to create a moat of woke, enlightened opinion around him after having been canceled and fired from Disney as a result of resurfaced tweets containing pedophilia jokes. Fox News contributor Kellyanne Conway, a former Trump aide, similarly took issue with Superman, citing a recent CBS News morning interview with David Cornsweet, in which the actor didn't mention the word American when referring to Superman's slogan of truth, justice, and the American way. I cannot believe that we've come down to that, Conway said. We don't want to go to the movie theater to be lectured to and to have somebody throw their ideology onto us, she said, on air, speculating whether the film would be successful. See, stretching. Stretch Armstrong. Even Dean Cain. Now, Dean Cain played Superman, and was it Lois and Superman? Was it Lois and Clark? He played Superman, meaning Dean Cain on television. Yeah, Lois and Clark, New Adventures of Superman. Dean Cain believes Superman director James Gunn's decision to call the Man of Steel an immigrant was a mistake and that could end up financially hurting the new DC Universal film. So Dean Cain played Superman on Lois and Clark from 1993 all the way to 97, has emerged as a politically conservative Hollywood figure. Dean Cain? Okay. In an interview with TMZ published Thursday, he responded to Gunn's recent remarks that Superman's alien origins make his immigrant journey to the story of America. Gunn's comments come at the time when, thanks to 47's aggressive deportation strategy, immigration has served as a hotly debated topic in the United States. Bringing Superman into it, I think that was a mistake by James Gunn to say it's an immigrant thing, and I think it's going to hurt the numbers on the movie, Cain told TMZ. I was excited for the film. I'm excited to see what it is because James Gunn seems to have a sense of humor, and the last iterations of Superman didn't have much humor, and I love humor in Superman. So I'm rooting for it to be a success, but I don't think it'll last a political comment. See, again, when you're just trying to create controversy and trying to create these things, it's just a movie. And who can say that maybe this was a so-called ambush going into the movie to try to quell people from going to see it? I mean, some people want to get away from politics. I understand. But get away from it. You don't need that crap. Add on to it. Grammy-winning singer Chris Brown today pleaded not guilty to 2 further charges related to the serious beating of a music producer with a bottle in London nightclub back in 2023. Brown, 36, denied the more serious charge of attempting to cause grievous bodily harm at a hearing last month. The singer, wearing a light brown suit, pleaded not guilty to assault charges causing actual bodily harm to Abraham Diop at the Tape nightclub in the swanky London neighborhood of Mayfair, February 2023. He also denied having an offensive weapon, a bottle, in a public place during the short hearing at Southwark Crown Court. Around 20 fans sat in the public gallery behind the dock for Friday's hearing, with several gasping as the singer of Go Crazy, Run For It, and Kiss Kiss walked into the courtroom. Co-defendant, Brown's friend and fellow musician, also denied actual bodily harm on Friday. In 2023, attack was caught on surveillance camera in front of a club full of people, prosecutors said. Brown was released in May on bail of £5 million. That's $3.75 million, which allowed him to start his Breezy Bold Double X tour. We've seen Chris Brown's situation back in the past when it came to domestic violence, when he was dating Rihanna and things like that. So I hope this is something that doesn't come back to haunt him. You know how these people do. They'll drudge up stuff in the past to make you look bad. But time will tell. I just think that when they do things like that, it doesn't bode well. But once again, I said earlier, like in the first hour, about a comeback story. I think people still love a comeback story. Some people want to keep the past in the past. Just keep it in the past. That's all. Got a few more remaining minutes left. It's entirely up to you. Anything you want to talk about, anything you want to bring to the table. Know the routine by now. Comment in the comment section. The Peanut Gallery has been doing that. Nothing wrong with that. Also call in. Got various ways to contact. 312-597-2106. Facebook Live. The Chris Base channel. All one word from YouTube with a period at the end of channel. Subscribe, like, and share. Also on Instagram, I am the base. Ask for the link, and you seek and you shall find. I put the link in the comment section, and then pretty much go from there. Whew, boy, it's been a tiring week. As I said before, I'm messing around with the system. I finally got a chance to get the link, so let me knock on wood. And it's been nice to get everything up and running again. It's also been tiring. Like I said before, we moved. Recently had a barbecue on the 4th. My sister and brother-in-law invited some people, and my mom invited my cousin Patrice, and then my Uncle Robert's lifelong partner Lynette. They had come by to visit. My cousin Skippy had come by. We call him Skip. Had come by yesterday. Skip like in the 60s now, but yes. Yeah, that's his nickname, Skip. So he came by yesterday, got a chance to reconnect with him. And so it's been an interesting week because, again, like I said, getting old ain't no punk. It just really isn't. Aches and pains and aches, but you make it work. You make it do what it do. So I'm checking some of the footage on social media. I didn't get a chance to watch it last night, but my sleep is off and on, mostly off. And the NBA summer leagues are going on. And so you don't follow basketball, just bear with me. So Cooper Flagg, number 1 pick out of Duke, considered a generational talent, got picked by the Dallas Mavericks. The Mavericks and the LA Lakers played last night. So it was Cooper Flagg versus LeBron James' son. And I watched some of the footage, and the hype around it was, I guess, Bronny got a defensive stop against Cooper Flagg and then went from there. So what? No, really, so this is what I mean by so what? And this is not a slant on Cooper Flagg. I'm talking about going back to the whole thing with Bronny James. He cannot play. He got some game, but it still needs developing. We know this before, from the standpoint of timing and being forced into it. And once again, this is LeBron saying that I want to play with my sons. Now I think he's waiting around for his youngest son to get in the league. Now, from what I heard through the grapevine, his youngest son, that's the one who got game. No offense to Bronny. And I'm just concerned about Bronny. I'm sure he's great, but it goes back to the health issues with the cardiac arrest that he had when he was at USC for that 1 year. You got to factor in all of that. I'm sure he has the look. He's LeBron James' son. Got the best of doctors, all the money in the world. Well, they say, but money can't buy you happiness. Yeah, but you can, like, you being LeBron, you can say, I won't play with my sons, but who's to say your son will play with you? That question I have never been answered, as far as I'm concerned. And are you doing this for your father? Are you doing this not? Are you doing this? I mean, is it for you really or for your dad? Okay, so you broke the record. Okay, nobody's done it before because traditionally people retire in the NBA. So that's why you get second generational talent from their fathers. Steph Curry, his father, played in the NBA, played for the Charlotte Hornets for years, for example. They've been around this culture. Klay Thompson, his dad, Michael, played for years for the Portland Trail Blazers and eventually for the Lakers. You know what I'm saying? And he has another son, another Curry that plays. So they live and breathe this culture because that's where they involved in since they were born. But Michael Thompson and D. Curry didn't like stick around for years and years to play with their sons in the NBA like LeBron did. They got out. They retired. And then you sit back and say, the old head like me, I'm watching, oh, I remember when your dad played, type of thing. Yeah. I just believe, and people said, for example, all this was going on when Bronny James got selected number 55 in the draft last year, that nepotism happens all the time. Well, you're right. It does. I'm not barring that. But again, this is pretty much embarrassing at this point. Because like I said before, he needs more seasoning. He needs to get more game. He needs more experience, going back to Bronny. And let the sideshow begin. It's sad. I mean, it really is. Let's see, where is that? Trying to get the story here. It won't pop up. Hold on. Okay. Let me check something here. I was reading this from my good friend Lisa E. I should have her on the show, but maybe I get a chance to have her on next week. So she's talking about, as we head into the weekend, think of those are important to you in your life. Just this past week, I have found out about a few people dying unexpectedly or got sick, and many of them are too young. This morning, I was informed about the passing of our radio friend / family, Kevin Woodson, who passed earlier this week unexpected at the age of 69. Many people don't know him by name, but they know all of his characters over the past 30 plus years in radio. He has worked with so many radio personalities, including Doug Banks, Tom Joyner, Crazy Howard McGee, Sam Silk, and many more, and was still working on a few weeks ago. Some of his beloved characters included Miss Leonard, who always messed up names and stories. She said that her name was, for example, she was Gleason. Doug Banks was Thug. Crazy Howard was Lazy Howard. Reverend C.T. Tremble, who did the church announcements. He was hilarious and would make me laugh so hard. He also did many characters on the Tom Joyner Morning Show, radio soap opera It's Your World, and the list goes on and on. He could adapt to any radio personality, even if they were filling in, And whatever topic they wanted to do, he would make work without even thinking twice about it. Kevin was so much great energy and put smiles on so many people's faces and made people laugh. And I would listen to Doug and Tom and everything else. I remember the Miss Leonard's character was hilarious, and she always called once again Doug Thug, and this was the man that did it. This man right here. I never met him. I never knew him, so I had to probably get Lisi to come on a little bit and give us a little more intel on that. Sorry for his passing. Uh, Condolences to his family and friends on this hell of an occasion to deal with. Is never easy. I wish him the best moving forward. It's never easy, but we always find a way. But yeah, that was Miss Leonard character was my favorite. Miss Leonard, yeah, oh hi Thug. It's Doug. That's right. Thug Banks, right. And again, I did not know he did a lot of voices for the radio soap opera It's Your World that Tom was doing. Good stuff, good stuff. Okay, so before we end, and you have to play along, having a barbecue, having a cookout, what's the one song that must be played? What's like your personal song or anthem that must be played at a cookout? Me personally, I know it's I know it's passe. A lot of people do it, but I don't care. Before I let go, Frankie Beverly and Mays. That to me is the ultimate cookout song. So again, to you out there, type in, call in. What's the one song, not two, what's the one song that must be played at a cookout when you're there or you're giving it? So it's entirely up to you. What's the one song that just sets everything off? I gave you mine. So what's yours? You type in, I'll wait. Or you call in, I'll wait. Want the link? Ask for it. I'll put it through. Come on through. Again, the one song that must be played at a cookout. Before I Let Go by Frankie Beverly and Mays has become like the top tier for me. I remember watching what was that? Welcome Home, Roscoe Jenkins. And I think they played that some part in the movie. Yeah, because it's the anthem. It hits. So again, what is your song? What is the song that must be played at a cookout? Go ahead. I mean, like we got a few more minutes before we get out of here. Like I said before, I said my piece. It's up to you. Ronna, you know you got some music out there. Don't sit up there and just suck up free energy. Get off your dead ass and type. Let's see. You got about 10 minutes left in the program. I'll wait. I'll wait. I'm telling you. Don't hate, participate. We'll do it again. 312-597-2106 to call in. The Chris Base channel with a period at the end of channel, all one word, of course, on Facebook Live. The Facebook channel, make sure you be a part of that. Also be a part of the YouTube channel. Be a part of all of this. The YouTube channel, the Chris Base channel, all one word. Make sure you subscribe, like, and share. Instagram, I am the base. As for the show link, I'll put it in. There you go. Yeah, I was thinking about that. I remember when I mentioned before about we had a barbecue on the 4th. And let's see. So I had my phone with me, so I was listening on the phone while I was barbecuing. I play a few songs. Well, those other songs I was playing, but of course I tell you about Frankie Bill and made Before I Let Go. That's my favorite. I also played on the phone Flashlight by Parliament. What else I played on? Some, Oldie but a goodie, Oak Tree. It's kind of obscure song, but it came out back in the day, Morris Day, when Morris Day left the time to go solo. So yeah, that was pretty funky. That was pretty cool. What's the one song? What's the one song that you play at a cookout? Always good to hear from you before we part company. So yeah, I said before I got to get back on the grilling tip. It's been a minute. I told you it's been like 10 years for the last time I grilled. So it's been a minute. So again, I would like to just set time out, whatever day I pick, get some food to grill, go out there and just practice and get my grilling back to where it was. I'm getting there. On the 4th, I did pretty good. We did, of course, with the hot dogs and hamburgers and bratwurst. We did those, and then some chicken chicken legs and chicken wings. They came out great. So that was fun. But again, I need to work on my grilling skills and queuing. 'Cause I used to love to queue. Now we have a home here. Now I get back to that feeling again, to sit back, whether it's with a cold bottle of water or some or beer if I'm feeling dangerous, smoking a stogie outside, barbecuing. Yeah, that's gonna be fun to get back in the swing of that, because we don't have that much time left because we only got like 3 good months of good weather here in Chicago. Be cold before you know it. Oh man. So so let's break company. I want to thank you so much for being part of the program. We're gonna break out early today. Enjoy your weekend. Make sure you take time out to do something fun. In a world of chaos, in a world of not knowing left from right or right from left, make sure that you know, and make sure other people know that as well, because in times like this, we need each other more than you know. Continue to be safe, continue to be sound, continue to be healthy, and most importantly, above anything else, continue to be loved. Long live the peace. Long live the funk. More power to you. And as always, imparting with all of you, my friends, always make sure you do the following. And make sure that you take time to do this, because it's important to. Hold on. Let me say this before I break out. There has to be something that makes you happy. Find out what it is, and don't let it go. Well, hold on. Wait, I was getting. Nobody was responding until now. Hey, how you doing, Dee Dee? Let's say, okay, so Love's Holiday, Earth, Wind, and Fire. Well, thank you. Yeah, because I put this out there a while back and nobody was responding to the question. I figured everybody went home or went to go scratch or something like that, went to the bathroom and had constipation, didn't come back or something like that. So I figured, okay, let me get out of here. So, but thank you, Dee Dee. Again, mine is Before I Let Go, Frankie Beverly and Mays. That's mine. Once again, what's the one song that you must play at a cookout? Once again, Dee Dee typed Love's Holiday, Earth, the elements, Earth, Wind, and Fire. Yeah, thank you. I was getting ready to break out early. Nobody responded. Okay, let me get the hell up out of here. And once again, thank you for participating. Thank you all for just being you. I hate to sound like Mr. Rogers, but what can I say? You're good. Glad to hear it. Absolutely, absolutely. And again, as I reiterated before, we break north or south or east and west. Continue to be safe. Continue to be sound. Continue to be healthy. Most importantly, above anything else, continue to be loved. Long live the peace. Long live the funk. More power to you. And as always, find something to make you happy and keep your head up.